First of all, I wanted to say thank you to Deep Silver for giving me a review copy of Metal Eden. I actually had a blast playing the game Metal Eden, and this is going to be another one of those 10-point scale reviews coming up. So, before we get started, I want to give you guys a little bit of insight to how I grade. Check this out. All games are reviewed in a vacuum. The score is not meant to compete against other games in the same genre or other releases in the same time span. Scores are meant to be read like classroom percentages. On a 10-point grading scale, the results will look as follows. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and below 60 is an F. All games are graded using my own personal opinions and occasionally input from friends if I'm on the fence. The scores will be the end result of a 10-part dissection of the game. 10 parts that I personally care about, which are 1. The main character or the cast, 2. The story plot, 3. The atmosphere and vibes, 4. The fun factor, 5. Graphics and production, 6. The gameplay loop and pacing, 7. The difficulty, 8. The writing, 9. Optimization and bugs, and number 10. Value for money. Also, up to 3 bonus points or penalty points will be awarded at the end, if I so choose. Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off with the cast. So the main character is Asuka. They also call her Hyper or Starshine throughout the game. She appears to be an android that's slowly defecting more and more with each mission. Through cutscenes and the subtle hesitations we witness as the story progresses, we slowly see that Asuka feels that something is wrong, even though she must push past those feelings to complete the missions. She's the main person that we talk about. There's a bunch of other people, but I don't want to really ruin the story. There actually is a pretty good story to this boomer shooter. So let's just say I give the cast a 9 out of 10. Next up is the story plot. So the main plot of the story follows Asuka as she embarks on several missions to collect Apex cores and free the citizens. I won't spoil too much, but the story unfolds and you start at the end, slowly working your way back to the beginning, which provides context to what you're doing in the present. I'm a fan of how they actually told the story, so I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. Next up is going to be atmosphere and vibe. The music is perfect for the game, the world building is incredible, and the overall vibe is exactly what you would expect from this type of game. It's very eerie and intriguing. If you get caught looking around too long, you might get attacked by any number of enemies. So the fact that they keep you on your toes and it feels like that with the music score, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Next up, let's look at the fun factor. Now, the game is extremely fun. You feel like a badass when hitting all your shots, dodging enemy attacks, and trying various weapons. The game is at its peak when you get new weapons to try, in my opinion. Leveling them up can drastically change the damage output, which may be necessary in certain levels. Other levels require a little bit more maneuverability, let's say. So because of that, I actually gave the fun factor a 9 out of 10. Next up is graphics and production. Now, the game is stunning. The actual game graphics look great and the cutscenes are high quality. They are noticeably darker, but overall I'd say that they are adding to the game aesthetic and pretty much they look awesome if you ask me. Like I said, they're just a little darker, but I can kind of get over that. So because of that, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Next up, we're going to look at the gameplay loop and the pacing. Now, the gameplay loop goes like this. You drop into a mission and you defeat the enemies to unlock the next section, and you just repeat this until you complete the objective or until you defeat the boss. The pacing of the game is pretty consistent. Each level takes around 30 minutes, and occasionally you'll have a mission that'll take you around an hour. It took me around 7 hours or so to complete the game. Some people may complain that the game is too short, but a boomer shooter with this level of detail and a good story shouldn't be too long. In general, I think an 8-hour boomer shooter is just fine, 8 hours or less. So I give this one a 9 out of 10. Difficulty. The game does a good job of keeping you level with the enemies as you progress. Some levels require more movement and some require specific weapons that pop up once in a blue moon on the battlefield once the battle actually starts. Every weapon has its own strengths, and learning what the strengths are is the difference between clearing a level on the first try and maybe dying a few times. For example, for me, I actually prefer the SMG when dealing with the flying enemies. Something about it just feels like it has more control when shooting straight towards the air. Whereas some of the other guns are a little more sporadic with more recoil and stuff. Like the shotgun was really only great close range, but if you're good at moving around and dodging, that's the way to go. So because of that and all of the differences and the way you can actually approach each mission, I gave the difficulty a 10 out of 10. What in the Big Hero 6 is this dude? Oh.
The pain is over for now.
Next up is the writing. So the writing is very well done. The dialogue between Asuka and one of the architects really stood out to me. Not only was the writing perfect for the situation, but the delivery by the voice actors was actually phenomenal. It's the first boomer shooter that had a story that I didn't want to skip. Because of that, I gave that a 10 out of 10. Oh.
Nexus was right about you. A few more steps and we're done here.
Should there be this many drones around?
Fuck! He's here!
Who's here?
This stupid thing go any faster! God damn it! It's got us trapped! I warned you. Your persistence leaves me no choice.
Who's here? Oh, right into a cutscene. Okay. Next up is optimization and bugs. So I ran the game on PS5 and barely ran into any issues. One major bug I ran into was a level that refused to load after I died the first time. It kept playing the cutscene at the beginning and then no enemies would actually populate. I tried to reload from the last checkpoint. I even restarted the game and then I restarted the PS5. The only thing that worked was starting the entire mission over, which means I lost about 20 minutes or so of gameplay and had to redo that whole thing. But I got it done live on stream. I'm just saying it was a little annoying, but that's the only major bug that I actually ran into. So because of that, I actually gave optimization and bugs an 8 out of 10. So unless I am just the world's slowest at this game, that's not right. I'm supposed to fight the monsters that I fought the first time, and then they're supposed to, when I kill them, it unlocks the door so I can keep going. And I'll probably get something right here, but I don't even see that anymore. That's so weird. All right. Next up, value for money. The game is great, but it's short. For it to be an 8-hour game at most makes me question the $40 price tag. As a boomer shooter, you don't want the game to be too long or it'll feel a little repetitive. Normally, I say $1 an hour for the gameplay is about right, but with the level of production put into the game, I'd say that feels kind of wrong. Even at $2 an hour, it's a little strange. However, as a boomer shooter, we basically expect those to be around 10 hours or so, maybe a little less. So I would feel comfortable with this game being around $25, but it's listed at 40. So for that reason, I have to give the value for money a 6 out of 10. Next up, bonus points and penalty points. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna give it +1 for the intro. I talked about this previously. Intros are a huge deal for me. They're what hook people into the games, the stories, the movies, the videos, anything that you're working on. This one I think actually had a really good intro. I want to say it was called the Crash Course. That's the tutorial, but it didn't even really feel like a tutorial. It felt like I just kind of started off learning about the game and the world in general, and I really liked the way they did it. And then it goes into the actual game. I didn't even realize I was playing the tutorial until I finished it. And I was like, wait, I thought that was just part of the mission. So that's really cool. Next, I'm gonna give it another point because of the commitment to the style and theme. They fully committed to this. Some games I've played, they kind of go half cyberpunk, and then it's got cyberpunk elements. No, they fully committed. This is the highest commitment level to being different and cyberpunk and futuristic that I've seen in a while. Only thing I can kind of compare it to is like when Deathloop first came out and everybody was giving it these high scores because of the commitment to the world and what they were trying to do. Deathloop got a lot of praise for the full send kind of vibe that they were giving with the Deathloop universe, and I feel like that is the same way I would approach this. Although this is a shorter game, I do really enjoy the way that they did that, so I'm going to give it a point for that. And the last point or penalty, I'm actually going to give it another point because of the weapon variation. Each weapon felt completely different, and many games get that small detail wrong. I'm just gonna call it what it is. A lot of times you'll get two weapons that feel exactly the same. The recoil pattern is exactly the same, and they don't really do anything. And you're like, well, what's the point of the pistol if the SMG feels the exact same way? That kind of thing. No, not in this one. Each gun felt different. They shot different. The feedback on the controller was different for each gun. It was pretty awesome. So I'm actually gonna capitalize on this and say, hey, I really enjoyed the way that these guns felt. And with all that together, when you tally it all up, that actually gives this game a 93 out of 100, or an A. This game is fantastic, and I do think everybody should try it. All right, that's going to conclude my review for Metal Eden. Hopefully you had a good time. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more game reviews. If you want to watch me play any of these games live, start to finish, go ahead and follow the Twitch channel at Your Host CJ. Once again, follow me on Twitch at Your Host CJ, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.